بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه هداه أما بعد. Inshallah, we are starting with Maxims of Fiqh, and I'd like to ask you again, have you seen the recording? Have you watched the video? Who didn't? Why?
I couldn't access it. I clicked on it and error.
You tried from your phone?
Yeah.
You don't have a computer?
I have
Because the phones don't usually play everything. Okay. Well, it is important because we are building on it. These sessions are not separate, especially when it comes to Maxims of Fiqh. For instance, when we say maxims derived from the second grand maxim, what is the second grand maxim? You need to go back and you read. They are only 6. These are the major ones. By now, you should have memorized them. 6 maxims only. The entire religion revolves around those maxims. 6. Al-'ada muhakkama. Matters are judged by the intention. We took that one. The second one, certainty is not to be removed by doubt. So this is what was discussed in the video. And we took one maxim from that grand maxim. You need to go back to the video to remember what is it. Now, this is the second maxim that is based on certainty is not to be removed by doubt. In principle, or the principle is freedom of liability. When we are born and we are created, do we have any responsibility? Do we have any liability? No. Once we grow up, then we start accumulating, we start acquiring knowledge and responsibilities, and as a consequence there will be liability. But by default, the essence is what? When I tell you, you owe me, my word, does it make you owe me? If I said now, each one of you owes me 2,000 ringgit, do you owe me or no? No? I said you owe me. No evidence? Where is your evidence that you don't owe me? I said you owe me. For what? For my word. I said you owe me. You see, if we are liable and we have to prove that we're not liable, life will be difficult. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. Just because someone said something that makes it liability, life will not be easy. You found the page? Because you keep going back and you found it?
Yes, I think so.
Alhamdulillah. So, the Prophet ﷺ said, لَوْ يُعْطَى النَّاسُ بِدَعْوَاهُمْ. If people were to be given what they say, just because of what they say, then people would claim properties and blood money of others. Yes or no? This land is mine. Why? Because I said so. Life cannot continue like that. Therefore, the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-bayyina ala al-mudda'i. You make a claim, you provide an evidence. Not the other way around. I don't owe you. No, you owe me. No, I don't owe you. What's your evidence? You don't owe me. What's your evidence? I owe you. That's how it should be. Because that's what makes sense. And Islam does not go against the human nature. It is against the human nature to hold people responsible just by statements. Because if that was the case, people would make a lot of claims. No. From this we can learn that the basic principle of Christians is invalid. They believe in the original sin. How would you be responsible for something that you didn't do? Okay? So in Islam, you are free of responsibility. Someone said you are responsible, he or she has to provide an evidence. Okay, when we say in principle, the principle is the essence or the continuous thing or the law. That's why we studied an entire subject called Principles of Fiqh. Usul al-Fiqh. Laws of Fiqh or rules of Fiqh. In Arabic, the maxim is al-asl bara'at al-dhimma. Dhimma. What's the meaning of dhimma? What's the meaning of dhimma? Do you know or you don't know? Dhimma is the ability to carry the liability or the responsibility. The ability to carry the liability or responsibility. So if I asked you, 3 years old girl, does she have dhimma? No. Why? She's 3 years old. She does not understand the responsibility, does not understand the consequences. So, by default, you are free. In worldly matters, what is similar to this law? To this maxim? Very good. What is it? Guilty until proven innocent. That's what she said. And this is true for women, yes. You always search for problem, the source is. So, you are innocent until you're proven what? Guilty. Imagine if it's the other way around. You're guilty until you're proven innocent. How life will be? So in Islam, actually this is a valid law in this world. This is valid law because it goes with Islam. Okay, I gave you an example now, and we agree that in principle what? Are you liable or you're not liable? You're not liable. Okay, here is an interesting example that's totally different. It's not about money. It's about marriage. A young man proposed to a young girl in front of her family. The approval is gained by what? The Prophet ﷺ mentioned that a girl's approval is what? Her silence. Did she say anything? No, she was silent. Why? Because that's what is expected from a girl. A virgin that was not married. What about a woman that was married and divorced? Would silence be accepted? Yes or no? No. But our example is with this girl. The girl has not been married. She's virgin. So a man came to you telling you, I married this woman in the presence of her family. I asked her and she was silent. She said, I didn't agree. What do? You are the judge. They want you to judge. You have been studying, you have been working hard on your Islamic knowledge, so you are now the judge. He says silence was her approval. She is saying, I didn't approve of him. What do you say? Is she his wife or no? No? Why not?
Because he's saying it. She's saying it.
She's saying it. So? Didn't the Prophet ﷺ say the silence is approval? Yes or no? So the man is telling you she was silent and I'm now booking the hall and I am putting deposits and this, and you tell me no? What do you think?
The marriage was confirmed it.
How? If the religion gave you the evidence, the religion gave you the approval by the silence. Yeah, the father was there. You ask the father, and the father says, yes, my daughter didn't say anything. But now in front of you, she's saying, I don't want him. I didn't say, I never said I wanted him.
It's not valid because now she's saying it.
But she was silent. You see, here, when you have these two contradictory situations, which one do you take? Which one is stronger? Remember, what is the maxim that we are discussing? Bara'at al-dhimma, freedom of liability. Even before that, the grand maxim is what? Certainty. Where is certainty here?
She didn't say anything.
Because silence, yes, I agree with you. Silence is approval, provided that no one said anything. What if she was dumb? She doesn't speak. Okay, what if she cannot speak? Can you say her silence is approval? No. So here, which one is stronger? She is saying, she is going back to the basic principle, freedom of liability. So in this case, you're right. Her marriage is not valid. Okay? Why? The husband is providing what? What's his evidence? Only the silence. But she is saying, which one is stronger? The saying. So you take that. Plus, she's going back to the original principle. Because marriage is liability or not? It is. So she's saying, until you prove that I'm really married, I shouldn't be. So that's the answer. Is this example clear? Okay.
Isha is asking how about the akad related, please. The akad, the father, he.
What about the father?
That's not the example that you gave. Did the father make the transfer of marriage, the akad? Did it happen?
The marriage is invalid.
But it did happen. The father said, now you are married to my daughter. Like what we do here in Malaysia, the father will.
Yeah. Now, the father has the right or doesn't have the right? He has the right to marry his daughter. But here, the father is not marrying his daughter to the man without her approval. And therefore we say the marriage is invalid. If he says, no, I gave my word, That's a different story. Okay? The third maxim. What was proven with certainty is not to be removed except by certainty. What was proven with certainty is not to be removed except by certainty. The grand maxim is what? Certainty is not to be removed by doubt. What's the relationship between this maxim and that maxim? If certainty is not to be removed by doubt, then how it would be removed? By certainty. So this is what? This is like an explanation of the maxim. Because if it's not to be removed by doubt, then how do we remove the certainty? By certainty. Okay, so the key word is always what? Certainty. Because which one is stronger? This is 100%. That's the certainty. And there you have doubt. The weaker cannot remove the stronger. But if there is stronger, yes, it can remove the stronger. So, if you doubted, you did something, or you didn't do it, then what? Is there a chance you did it? Yes. But are you certain? No. So you need to do it again. This is if you doubted, you did it, or you didn't do it. What if you doubted, you did it, but you're not sure whether it's 3 or 4? Which one do you take? 3. Maybe you did 4. When people do tawaf, it's only 7 times, and they keep forgetting. Is this the 5th one? Is this the 4th one? So which one do you should count? The less. Why? Because that's what you are certain of. So we go back to the key word, certainty. Certainty. Okay? Now, examples. If she forgot one of the 5 prayers, you said, I remember yesterday I prayed only 4 prayers. How many prayers we're supposed to pray? 5. You're certain you prayed how many? 4. And you're certain one of them you didn't pray. Which one you did not pray? You don't know. What do you do? Pray for rak'ah. Who said that? Why? Maximum. So the 4 rak'ah, would it cover the subh prayer? It's more. What do you think? Subh prayer is 2 or 4? So this is 2 plus plus. Would it be valid if you pray 4 rak'ah and then it appeared that the prayer that you didn't pray was subh? What do you think? What if the one that you didn't pray was maghrib? But maghrib is 3 rak'ah. This one is 4 rak'ah. Extra. Can you do that? Why not? It's extra. She cannot remember. She is certain that one of them she missed. And she is certain she prayed 4. But she cannot tell which one. What's the answer? What do you do? Would 4 rak'ah do it? And you intend that this is 4 rak'ah, so it covers anyone because there is no prayer more than 4, and you will pray 2 silent and 2 aloud, so you cover all your bases. What do you think? Would that be acceptable? Yes or no? She came to you. She said, give me the answer. I want to know. What should I do? What do you tell her? Hello? It's very rare, yes. But it happens, especially for women. They tend to forget. What do you think? Where is the certainty here? Remember, we're looking for that keyword, certainty. But which one? That's the question. She doesn't know. So how can we achieve certainty?
Pray all 5.
All 5.
You're sure that you've done one at least.
Yeah, if you pray 5, of course, there is no more than 5. So you covered all your... Do you have to do that? No, what do you do? Actually, the only case is to pray the 5. That's the only... You cannot achieve certainty without that. Yes, now, you know you prayed 9 instead of 5. But you forgot which one. Maghrib cannot be replaced by Subh and vice versa. You cannot pray 4 rak'ah and count this as Subh because it is extra. No, you cannot do that. Every prayer has its own rak'ahs. Doubt in intention invalidates the ibadah. So, yeah, this is a rare case, but the only way to achieve certainty is to pray all of them. All right. If she doubted the amount of debt, how much she should pay? She knows she owes 5,000. And she knows she made a payment, but she is not sure whether it was 1,000 or 2,000. She asks the creditor, and he says, I really don't know, because I thought you're the one who was keeping track. I have a lot of debtors. So she's sure she paid, but she doesn't know whether she paid 1 or 2,000. How much she should pay? 4,000. Okay, always. When you doubt, you did or you didn't do, you didn't do. When you doubt 5 or 4, you count 4. Okay, how about divorce? Now this is if he doubted, divorce took place or not. Does divorce happen with the intention? Or there has to be a word? Most men, if not all, they entertained the idea of divorce at one point of time. So does that mean it happened? No. But what if he really wanted to divorce? He was determined, but he was waiting for the right moment. Then after some time he thought, did I divorce my wife or no? What do you think? What if he divorced her? Wouldn't he be with her in haram now? So here, shouldn't he count the worst case scenario? What do you think?
She must consider herself divorced.
Why?
Because he's an ignorant evidence.
But where is the certainty? You see, when we are born, by default, when we grow up, are we married or not married? We're not married. But once marriage takes place, now the certainty is what? We're married. That certainty, the maxim is there. That certainty is not to be removed except with what? Certainty. Unless you are certain, you divorced, you don't count divorce. Okay? Unless you are certain, you divorced, you don't count it. Next maxim, al-asl al-adam. In principle, the thing does or does not exist. Does not exist. But once it exists and it is established that it is there, then that's what we count. But in principle, it does not exist. This is why whenever there is a new thing, they have to prove it to you. Why? Because in principle, it's not true. These are general maxims. You apply them in anything. In your life also. When someone says there is a traffic jam, it's not that you don't believe him. Yes, there are many traffic jams, but nobody reported that. On your GPS, you don't see it. So you ask for a proof, right? So in principle, things do not exist. So every day, do you have to pray 5 times or no? You do. So in principle, every day you have to pray. You are liable because you didn't pray. Once you pray, you are certain, then you count your prayer done. That's an example. Did and didn't do. The principle is what? You didn't do. Unless you are certain you did. So again, the key word is what? Certainty. So, in principle, you're not liable for anything. In principle, you don't owe me anything. But then I showed a receipt. You signed it. You owe me that amount. Do you owe or you don't owe? You do. But then you say, I came to you. I say, yes, you came to me. But you didn't pay anything. And you say, no, I paid. Does it count as a payment or no? I have a receipt. You owe. You say that you did pay. So the certainty here is that you didn't pay. Okay, this example has been repeated a lot. About the debt, about the prayer. It's the same thing. We're taking a look at it from different angle, that's all. Always look for the keyword certainty. The next maxim, in principle, the new thing is attributed to its latest time. This is also going back to certainty. You always pass by this road. Someone told you there is a building, and you say, I didn't see it. But then next day, you watched and you saw the building. And you said, this building, when did they build it? Someone says, it has been there for 10 years. Another one says, it has been there for 5 years. Another one says, it has been there for only 1 year. Certainty is what? Is it there now or no? Yes. So the further you go, the more evidence you have. Because the certainty is that the nearest time, that's what you have. That's what you are sure of. Because we see it. So it is there. We're certain it is there. But when did it happen? It could have happened half an hour ago. Or it could have happened 1 hour ago. The certainty is what? The nearest. The nearest time. The further back you go, you need an evidence. That's why when they say established in 1888, who's counting? Where is the evidence? Maybe they are lying. Yes, we know it is established because they have a product. But maybe it has been only 20 years and they put the numbers. So the certainty is now. You go back, you need an evidence. Okay? So with actions, they are counted now. How we can apply that in our daily life? You bought a car from me. Okay? You bought a car. You paid the money. You came after 1 week. You said this car has a defect. There is a problem in the transmission. The gears, they have very disturbing sound. You sold me the car with this defect. How long has it been now? 1 week. I tell you, no, I sold you the car without this defect. We both go to a judge. What will the judge do? What if you were the judge and two people came to you telling you this? The buyer and the seller. The buyer says, I was sold a defected car. The seller say, no, I didn't cheat him. What do you do? What do you do? Now, you ask to turn it on. The car is turned on. And you ask for the speed, and the speed is raised, so you hear the sound. It is there. But was it there a week ago? You're not sure. You're sure it is there now. So whose word do you take? The seller, not the buyer. Why? Maybe you're telling the truth. I cannot tell. You need an evidence. If it had this sound, why didn't you say from the first day? And you say, I didn't hear it the first day. I didn't need to speed, so the sound would be audible. But the seller is saying, no, the car was fine. Is there a chance that the car was fine and then after a few days it had this sound? Yes. So there is no certainty here. And that's why what is certain is that it is now. But before that, we don't know. So in principle, you always add the action to what? To its most recent time. More than that, you need an evidence. If there is an evidence, yes. If there is an expert who can come and say there is erosion on those gears and that erosion never happens in 5 days, at least it needs 7 days, then we take the word. That's evidence. We tell the seller the defect was from the time you sold the car. Okay? Another interesting example. So this is the example I gave you about the car. Another interesting example. If a husband divorced his wife, he's a rich man, and suddenly the doctor told him, you have only 2 months to live. His family told him, divorce your wife. We never liked her. Why would she take 1/4 of your money? So he divorced her. But he remained alive. And after 6 months, he passed away. She came to you. She said, my husband divorced me only to deprive me from the inheritance. The family says, no, he divorced her before. Is there a document showing the date? No. It is their word and her word. Which one do you take? Which one do you take? She's saying, I was divorced 40 days ago. I'm still in the iddah. I'm still considered a wife. So I have a share in the inheritance. They say she was divorced 4 months ago. Can't hear you. Why? How many times wives lie? And there is the money. He left 4 million. 1 million is good. Whose word do you take? Her word or their word?
Her word, because I think it's 2 things. One is the most recent and the other one is certain.
What is certain?
That she is really divorced now because he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is certain and also is the most recent.
In this case, you're correct. You take, based on the maxim, the most recent. Maybe she was divorced 4 months ago. Where is the evidence? Where is the evidence? She could be lying, that's true. But we go back to the maxim. We're certain that the least happened. For sure, she is divorced now. But to say she was divorced 4 months ago, where is the evidence? If there is a document recording, yes. If there isn't, then we take what is most recent. The family say, oh, she just wants the money. True, but also you could wanting the money, because if she didn't take, your share will be more. So both of you are accused. We cannot take your word or her word. We go back to the maxim. The most recent. Okay? Is this clear? All right. Here is an interesting case, another case. You came from work after a long day of work and you wanted to take a shower. It's time for Isha. You want to pray, so you wanted to take a shower. You went to the shower and you noticed in your clothes there is semen. Now, you have to take a shower. It's not you want to. Now you have to take a shower because there is semen. Based on the maxim, what do you do? What do you do? What about the prayers that you prayed? Dhuhr, Asr and Maghrib. Because all those prayers you prayed at work. And then you came. The latest. But the latest, semen just happens like that? No. There has to be ejaculation, right? So what do you do? The maxim says you attribute it to the most recent time. The most recent time is now. So you just take a ghusl and you pray Isha. Is that what you need to do?
Yes.
No. No. You have to go back to the last possible time. Yes, it is still with the maxim, but that's like an exception. Why? Because it's not possible that it just happened. Unless someone is sick or someone has different, but normal people, this does not happen like that. There has to be ejaculation. And you cannot remember. That means you go back to the time when you woke up. So all those prayers, they have to be what? To be repeated. Again, the key word is what? Certainty. Certainty. Yes, if you saw blood, you ate the iftar and you didn't pray before the iftar, you want to pray now. It has been about half an hour after the adhan. You ate, you finished, you washed some dishes, and now you want to pray and you notice there is blood. Does your fast count or no? Is there a chance that you started before Maghrib? There is a chance. But based on the maxim, what? The most recent time. Because there is a chance that it just happened 10 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago. Yes or no? Yes. So that's what you count. That's what you count. The most recent time. Which is now. You see, this is different. Why? This is different. You can bleed without noticing. Unless, of course, it was a lot. But it happens. Some people actually don't notice until they are told, is there something? And then they start noticing. But with semen, it's different. Because there has to be ejaculation. You cannot remember, that means most likely it happened when? When you were sleeping. Any questions?
I don't know how it is related to this maxim, but are we allowed to not pray again if we are sure that the Qibla is correct, but then after we pray we find out that no, it's not the correct Qibla, or the time hasn't come yet, but at that time we are sure.
At that time you are sure, and that's why you prayed.
Yes,
But then you were sure that you were wrong.
after that I found out that
You were wrong.
Yes.
100%. So that means what you did was, at that time, was right. But now it is not right anymore. So you need to do it again. Yeah. Now some scholars differentiate it. If it's one prayer within the time, yes. If it was out of the time, it's too late, it's gone. But you are sure what you did was wrong. So it's within the time, you do it. But what if it was like 10 days or 10 months? In this case, you can take the concession that the error is forgiven. But forgiving the error means you are not liable for punishment. That's what it means. So there is discussion here. But the correct opinion, as long as it is within the time, you repeat it. Because what you did was wrong. Any other questions? We'll take the prayer break now, inshallah.